Stop saying yes and no in English. Okay, don't stop because those words are completely correct, but in today's video, I want to give you 40 alternatives to yes and no to help your language sound more natural and more fluent. Let's get right into the video and start with the alternatives for the word yes. Now, the first one you've almost certainly heard. It's more common in casual, informal speech. We can say, yeah. Yeah. It means yes, but it's more informal. You probably wouldn't hear this in a formal situation, but when speaking to friends or even colleagues in a casual environment, you could say, yeah. Yeah. You could also say, absolutely. Absolutely. This is very strong. You're affirming your belief in something. For example, would you like to go to the movies? Absolutely. You really want to go to the movies. Absolutely. You could also say, of course. Maybe when something is obvious. Of course I want to go to the movies. Sure. Sure. This is maybe a bit less strong. Do you want to go to the movies? Sure. Why not? It's not as strong as absolutely, but it's still a synonym of yes. You're still agreeing or you're affirming something. You could also say definitely. Definitely. Without a doubt. Without a doubt. Now this one's a bit more formal. You might hear it more commonly, or rather, you might see it more commonly in writing. Without a doubt. Without a doubt. Affirmative. Affirmative. This one also is commonly found in very formal English. Affirmative. You might also hear it in the military. Pilots might use this as well. Definitely not something you would use on a daily basis unless you're being a bit sarcastic. For example, if somebody asks you, do you want to go to the movies? And you respond, affirmative, you're being a bit sarcastic. You're playing with them a bit. But you're still agreeing. You're still saying yes. You could also say, I agree. That's very basic. I agree. Right. Right. If you agree with somebody, you could say, right. I understand. Right. Now, earlier we mentioned the word yeah. And yeah is more common in informal English. Another word or two words that you might hear in informal English, yep and yup. Yep and yup. When somebody asks you a question and you want to say yes, you could say yep. Yep. You might see these spelt with an E or with a U. Again, more informal, more common in casual English. You could also say totally or indeed. Indeed is also more formal. It's commonly found in writing. It might also be found more in British English, but it's still common in American English too. Indeed. By all means. By all means. It means, of course, sure, yes, by all means. You bet. You bet. For example, if somebody asks you, would you like to have sushi tonight for dinner? You could say, you bet. You bet. For sure. For sure. Naturally. Naturally. If somebody says something and it's perfectly correct, we could say, exactly. Exactly. When you agree with somebody, you can say, exactly. And lastly, you could say, no doubt. No doubt. We normally use no doubt when we're talking about something we're not really surprised by. For example, if somebody says, "It was cold and rainy, so I didn't want to walk to work," you could say, "No doubt. No doubt." Now, before we continue and go on to the negatives or the synonyms of no, make sure to leave a like and let me know in the comments if you're finding this video helpful. Don't forget to subscribe to English at the Ready here on YouTube so you don't miss any future lessons. If you want to study with me and my team, if you want to improve your English this year, click the link in the description below to learn more about how we can help you improve your English, improve your speaking, improve your writing, your reading, your pronunciation, your grammar, your vocabulary, and so much more. Click the link down below and you'll find everything you need to know. Now let's get back into the video and talk about the synonyms of no. I'm going to give you 20 alternatives to the word no. If you really disagree with something, you can say absolutely not. Absolutely not. This is a very strong way of disagreeing. Absolutely not. Not at all. Not at all. Certainly not. Certainly not. Now remember we talked about the word yeah and yep. Those are more informal, and the equivalent here would be nope. Nope. Okay, more casual. You might see it in text when you're texting somebody on your phone, when you're talking to a friend or somebody you know in a casual situation. We would say nope. Nope. Or nah. Nah. For example, if somebody asks you, "Do you want sushi tonight?" you could say, "Nah. Nah." Again, more casual, more informal. On the more formal side, especially in the military or amongst pilots, you could say negative. Negative. It's a bit like affirmative, which we learned earlier. It's more formal. It's actually quite formal, and it's not something you would say on a daily basis, but if you want to be a bit sarcastic, you could say negative. If you disagree with somebody, you can say, "I don't think so," or "I disagree." You could say, "Not really," "not really," or "not likely," "not likely." When you say not likely, it means there's a small chance, a small probability that something is going to happen. It's not likely. Again, if you want to be very strong with your words, you could say never, never, or definitely not, definitely not. Under no circumstances, under no circumstances. This is very strong. For example, under no circumstances do I want to go to the movies with you. Okay, that's a very strong way of saying no. Very strong rejection. Under no circumstances. If you want to be a bit more polite, you could say, "I'd rather not." I'd rather not. Or, "I'm afraid not." I'm afraid not. That's very polite. Also quite British. "I'm afraid not." If you want to be stronger, you could say, "No way." Not a chance. Not a chance. Don't count on it. Don't count on it. Not happening. Not happening. And lastly, you could say, "That's not the case." That's not the case. If something's not true. Well, there we have it. We've learned 40 alternatives to the words yes and no in English. Let me know in the comments if you knew any of these, if some of them were new to you, and if you can think of any other alternatives to yes and no. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to English at the Ready here on YouTube so you don't miss any future lessons. If you want to improve your English with me or my team of amazing teachers, then click the link in the description below to learn more about our programs and courses and how we can help you improve your speaking, your reading, your writing, your vocabulary, your grammar, your pronunciation, and so much more. I hope you have a great week. I'll see you in the next lesson, and bye for now.